So gonna be like a quick guide on how to make these cards with the laminating method at home. So the classic so there are different methods. The one I use, as I said, is photo paper, glossy photo paper, and then glossy lamination. So pretty much the tools you're gonna need are printer. This is a G650 from Canon. It has 6 inks, so this one in particular, whatever, it has the classic CYMK and also red and gray. Any printer will do. Okay, the difference is not as huge, of course. If you're gonna use like a even better, printer like a Prograph or whatever, is gonna be even better for sure. But one thing I suggest, especially if you're on a budget, try to buy, doesn't matter 4, 6 inks or more, but try to buy an ink tank, because you're gonna save a whole lot of money, okay, by using one of these, because you can easily buy whatever ink. You just need to be sure, make sure that you buy the right ink. So usually these ones are dye ink, okay. Sometimes you're gonna have all colors dye, even photo black, and then you might have pigment black. So make sure that you don't put pigment ink in the dye ink tanks. I think that is gonna screw the printer up. So this one in particular on the back side has like a ink tampon cartridge. I actually printed for 1 year, and after that I changed it. So, and that's about in my case it was 15 euros, but it lasted me 1 year, so it's actually not bad. Then you're gonna need, of course, a laminator. A good rule of thumb for this is the heavier they are, especially if you're buying one of these in person, the better. So I had before this one, I had another one, and I bought it for cheap from Amazon for about 30 euros. It was like about 1/4 of the weight of this one. This one is actually quite heavy, but the last one I had wasn't able to laminate more than 80 micron. So 80, to be precise, 80 by 2, of course. So 160 total. So it would be able to laminate that, no more than that. This one it's much heavier. I paid it 60 euros for this, but it was worth it because it can pretty much laminate all the way to 250. So I'm pretty much set with this. Then of course you need a way to cut the cards. So you're gonna need one of these. You can also, I saw people using a levy one, so the one with the blade on the side, like a levy, you pull it down. It's actually probably fine. Might be even better than this. I find myself with this and I've stuck with it. Also because I can easily change the blades and they're quite cheap. So for 10 euros I bought like 4 of them, and I have them lying around, as you can see. And one blade of this, it's about 2000. You can cut 2000 cards roughly, okay? After that you pretty much need to change it, but 2000 cards, it's a lot of cards, to cut a commander deck, from my experience, which is about 11 pages, because it's 9 by 11, so 99, you need to pretty much, for me, okay, and in my case it takes me about, just to cut them and round the corners, it takes me about 1 hour and a half. Maybe you can be quicker, maybe slower, but this is what it takes me just to cut them. To print them and laminate them, it takes me, and cut them all pretty much, it takes me about 3 hours, everything, okay? For you, it might take less. Then again, I prefer to spend 3 hours cutting and laminating a deck, 100 cards, than paying 400, 500. This is what I used to spend, okay? I sold an entire deck of mine, and that was able to buy pretty much everything, okay? I bought a printer, I bought everything with just one deck. All the materials I needed, I sold one deck and it was fine. Then I stopped pretty much buying original cards, because in my opinion, why do I need to buy them? I don't even join tournaments, so it doesn't matter for me, okay? And in my local places, proxies are pretty much accepted. So anyway, this is the laminating material I use. So 2 by 200 micron total. Okay. Then this paper, it's about 160, as you can see, 160 gram by square meter. And this is like, after many tests, this is like the best combo I found, because the cards are pretty much about the same thickness as the real card, okay? Now, I have some of these laying around, for example, before we do all the process. This is a soldering I did. So, as you can see, these are quite nice. They're actually quite sturdy. You can mess with them around easily. They're actually, you know, to make you understand, you know, they're actually quite tough. You can really abuse them. They will always come out straight, you know. And even if they're not straight at the moment, you just put them something on them, and thanks to plastic, they're gonna be pretty much straight all over again. And yeah, this is why I prefer this method. There are many methods. You know, you can also, before investing and buying a lot of plastic and photo paper, you can try one method or the other. You have people using vinyl photo paper and put them on top of real cards. People putting them on cardboard. You have people printing directly on cardboard. All these methods are fine. Okay, you just need to test and see what you like the most. In my case, I prefer this method, but you know, you choose. Then, of course, after you cut the cards, before I forget, you need one of this. I say one of these because this is about 20 euros where I live, shipped from Amazon. And this one pretty much cut about, since I bought it, about 5,000 cards. I cut it with this about 50 decks for my friends, so it's pretty much indestructible. And the corners, as you can see, they come out not like the same as the real cards, but they are actually quite almost there. Once you put these cards on a sleeve, and now I'm gonna show you, they are pretty much almost like you. It's difficult even to, you know, to see if they are real or not, you know. So this is the soldering I had before in the sleeve. Also, pretty much when you sleeve these cards, in comparison to the original cards, it really doesn't matter. Like it's pretty much doesn't feel much different than shuffling real cards once you put them in the sleeves, of course, and whatever. So now that I showed you all the materials, we can start. So I already have some paper with the card backs printed on it, and we are gonna start. I'm gonna check if the paper is clean. Looks like it's clean. So of course I need to put it upside, because it's gonna be printed from the other side, of course. So as you can see, you need to put it like this, okay? Then there are different softwares and different methods you can find online to print the cards. The one I used since the start, and I find myself you know, comfortable with it, it's by Inkscape. So you take the cards, you put of course if you are using like MPC Feel or whatever other website, those cards are gonna have about 1/8 more than on the borders. So you need to pretty much convert them to the normal size, so 63 by 5 millimeters by 88.9, okay? Then you put them, in my case I put them inside this grill, and I save the file, and then I open them by Photoshop. Now, okay, no, these are the card backs, my bad. Let's open it again. Okay, where are the card fronts? Oh, here we go. Now these are some random cards that I just, you know, I need them in the future, so I'm gonna print them now. So whatever. Here we go. Okay. Now I have already like an action set where I adjust the contrast and the saturation. Okay, just a tiny bit. These are about 3% each. It's not a lot of difference. It's just because I don't want to have a lot of difference. I want them to be, you know, a little bit more, you know, because what you see on the monitor is not the same that what will come out. Okay, because these are completely two different things. Okay, on one side you are printing on white, so the white from the paper is the white you're gonna have, and from the monitor it's completely different thing. Okay, you got the light coming from the monitor, so what you see on the screen pretty much is not gonna what you're gonna have coming out, unless this is like a calibrated screen. In my case it's not, so I need to adjust, you know, you need to adjust a little bit. So let's print this one. In the meantime, this one is heating. It's ready pretty much. You see the green light there. Now it's gonna take quite a while, because it's especially because it's printing technically a photo, you know, since it's photo paper, so it's gonna take quite a while. There are some printers that are faster even by printing photos, and there are printers that are even slower than this. I hope you will have one of them which is, you know, faster maybe, because this is actually quite a nice printer. It's just quite slow on the printing side of photo paper, not the regular paper. Regular paper is gonna be like really quick. So in my case I print tokens, not on photo paper. I don't waste photo paper for tokens. I use just regular paper, and this one prints quite quickly on regular paper, but on photo paper it's like it takes a long time. So we're gonna sit here for a while. So in my case, I have, luckily, like a database I made at home with all the cards from all the different sets, as you can see. So pretty much what I did in my case, I pretty much went to Scrifle. I set first print on the search bar, so every card from every set which was printed, it's in every set. You know, for example, Soaring was first printed in alpha, so in my case I have it in alpha. Same as Armageddon was first printed in alpha, so depending on the cards where they first printed, I have on different places. So it makes it easier for me to search them, because and these are about, let me just check, I think there are more than 8,000. Yeah, 8,086 cards that I have ready, pretty much. So when I need to make a deck, I just come here and I have them. It took me actually quite a while, you know, to have this database. So, you know, a lot of time. But if you need, like, if you don't need, like, because sometimes people want to print, of course, specific artwork or maybe full art card. In my case, I have them all pretty much regular. Then again, while it actually prints, I'm gonna show you some cards that I have. Okay, let me just see. Where did I put them? I don't know. Ah, here we go. So in my case, I actually, for a while, I took some tests. I did some tests with the foil paper. So you can, there are even more methods for doing this. So if you need to do like foil cards, this one is one example I did. Now, the problem is, these are about the same thickness as these cards, okay? Because this is what I pretty much try to do. And I did it. The feeling is different because with the foil cards, since the foil, the vinyl, okay, the holographic vinyl is about 50-60 micron roughly thickness, so I needed to use even, you know, lighter plastic. So for this, it's photo 130G matte photo paper for the backs, okay. And for the fronts is I mean, is the holographic vinyl, of course, and the plastic is 60 by 2. So they feel, you know, different than in terms of, you know, they are still snappy, okay? It's not like this one. Let me just, you see, I like this sound. I actually like it. Anyway, they actually come out nice. You got people on the Reddit I saw doing all the crazy stuff, okay? Like this is like, in comparison, this is like beginner friendly, okay? You just need, it's pretty much just a material more than this. So it's actually quite easy. Now, the print is ready, okay? This is how they come out. As you can see, they are pretty much crisp. You see how they look? In my opinion, they look good. They're gonna look even better once we laminate them with plastic, but you know, it actually looks good. Now, gonna take this down for a second because otherwise I need to. Unfortunately, I have only 2 hands and I don't have a camera, so I'm trying to do this with my phone pretty much. So usually I prefer to wait 2 minutes. In this case, I'm on a hurry, so, and I think also you are watching this. So I'm gonna wait just about 1 minute to laminate this. So one good rule of thumb when you're laminating, which I like to do personally, is to laminate the A4 paper, okay? So all of this page, okay? Then I cut the cards, okay? And I round the corners, and then I laminate every card, okay, again. So it's like every card goes to 2 kind of lamination. Once when they're all on the same page, and then each one separated, and when they are pretty much already ready. But I laminated one time again just to be sure that, you know, they come out perfectly. And it's just like a double, like, you know, better be safe than sorry. So okay. Okay, I'm gonna wait a little bit more because sometimes it happened actually to me a couple of times where I laminated them just about 10-20 seconds after being printed, and I had like a couple of black spots where pretty much the ink wasn't ready yet, and it actually ruined a couple of cards. So I prefer to wait about, yeah, a minute should do okay in this case, but you know, it also depends on the printer, depends on the paper you're using, depends on many factors. So usually 1 minute should be enough. 1-2 minutes if you prefer to be, you know, safer, which I usually do. So yeah, let's go. These things takes time, of course they take time, you know, to do the cards at home, but in my opinion, look, you're gonna save a lot of money, especially if you don't need to join tournaments, you know, official tournaments sanctioned by Wizard. In that case, of course, you need the original cards, but if you are like a Commander player especially, or even if you're not a Commander player, you have a group of friends, you know, that are fine with proxies, you know. At the end of the day, look, it doesn't matter if you're playing with proxies or you're not playing with proxies. The best thing is that the decks you're playing at the table are balanced, try to be balanced with each other, because that way all of you are gonna have fun time. So that's the most important thing, okay? Doesn't matter if one guy has proxies, the other guy doesn't have proxies, nobody has proxies or whatever. The most important thing is that you have fun. This is like a tabletop game, okay? Tabletop game, what you want to do is to have fun, okay? It doesn't matter if these are original or not. At the end of the day, these are pieces of paper, okay? In this case, okay, especially there is also plastic with them, but still the same thing. So, look how crisp they are. So yeah, with this method, it's about 4 cents a card. If I take in consideration the electricity costs, they're about 5 cents a card. Then again, there are cards that alone by themselves, like this one, they're actually quite pricey. So when you're printing 5 cents a card, it's like nothing, okay? So pretty much you're gonna need to cut this. Now, unfortunately, one thing, the most important thing when you're cutting the cards is to have one hand firm, okay? Well, these are things that you're gonna learn by yourself, okay? Because this is also what I did, I had to learn it by myself pretty much. I saw just one guy making Pokemon cards the same way on YouTube, and then I started making Magic cards. But these things, takes a little bit practice at the beginning. After a little bit of practice, you're going to be able to cut easily and actually quite accurately without problems. So usually, you just need to have one hand firm and the other hand taking the blade, with a one single, quick, whatever. My English is quite bad, I apologize. So anyway, this is pretty much it. After you cut the cards, you're gonna use the smallest possible corners. In this case, if you're using this, it's an S, whatever. So yeah, you need to buy this. It's a Kadomaru Pro. You can find it on Amazon, and yeah. This is pretty much it. It's not really that much complicated, as you can see. It's just takes a little bit of time and patience. So yeah, good luck with this. I think I'm gonna post this on Reddit. Maybe it's gonna be of help to also other people trying to do this method. So yeah, see ya.